Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am M.Waqar, Assistant Research Officer at Sir Sahibzada Abdul Qayyum Museum of Archaeology, Ethnology, University of Peshawar. The museum is part of the teaching department of archaeology. This museum houses thousands of artifacts belonging to Stone Age, Bronze Age, Buddhist, Hindu, and Muslim period. Came through systematic excavations and exploration conducted by the Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar since its inception in 1962. The present building of the museum was inaugurated in March 1998. The present research is selected from my M.Phil Thesis under the title The Late Neolithic Chalcolithic Phase in the Gomal Plain, Dera Ismail Khan Study of the Lithic Assemblage from Jhandi Babar-I. This is supervised by Professor Dr. Zakirullah Jan, Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar. This is the table of contents of the thesis. Introduction, the stone tools from Jhandi Babar-I and their classification, raw material and manufacturing technology of the stone tools, socio-cultural and socio-economic significance of the stone tools, and their analysis and conclusion. C.J. Thompson introduced three-age system in archaeology around 1836. The subject archaeology is entirely based on three-age system. This periodization of human prehistory and history named after their respective tool-making technologies. The first category, prehistory, literally means before history or before written records. It starts from 2.5 million years before present up to 4000 BC. The second category, proto-history or Bronze Age. The term proto-history refers to a period between prehistory and history during which a culture or civilization has not yet been developed. It starts from 4000 BC up to 1200 or 1000 BC. The last or the third category, history, also known as Iron Age, start from 1200 or 1000 BC till present. The first category, prehistory, is again divided into main three periods. The first one is Paleolithic, which means Old Stone Age. It starts from 2.5 million years up to 12,000 or 10,000 BC. The second, Mesolithic, which means Middle Stone Age, start from 10,000 up to 8,000 BC. The last one is Neolithic or New Stone Age, start from 8,000 up to 4,000 BC. All these main periods have been divided on the basis of their stone tools technology. Paleolithic, the first category, is also again divided into three sub-periods. The first one is Lower Paleolithic, start from 2.5 million years up to 1 lakh or 80,000 years before present. It was followed by Middle Paleolithic, round about 80,000 up to 40,000 or 35,000 BC. The Upper Paleolithic is the last period of the Paleolithic culture, starts from 40,000 or 35,000 up to 10,000 BC. Neolithic is also divided into two main periods. Ceramic or Early Neolithic start from 8,000 up to 6,500 BC. The second one is ceramic Neolithic or late Neolithic, start from 6500 to 400 BC. The Neolithic phase of prehistoric period, New Stone Age, starts from 8000 to 4000 BC, and we mentioned that it is divided into two periods: aceramic Neolithic or early Neolithic and ceramic Neolithic or late Neolithic. Aceramic Neolithic means pre-pottery Neolithic, or when there is no concept of pottery. In this period, all the tools were there except pottery. The second period, ceramic Neolithic or late Neolithic, means that pottery was introduced in this period. It is also known as late Neolithic period. Feature of Neolithic period: it is the last phase of prehistoric age, and tools of this period were developed from the Mesolithic culture. New developments were made in this period having advanced tools. This phase is also known as Neolithic Revolution, and the term was first used by Gordon Childe in 1950. The settlement pattern is also changed. Village life, architectural activities were started, along with domestication of animals and agriculture. Trade and commerce and burial system also introduced in this period. Some of the famous Neolithic sites in Pakistan: Mehergarh, a famous site of Neolithic period, located in Balochistan, and his two first periods belong to Neolithic period. The next one is Qili Gul Muhammad, also located in Balochistan, and his first two periods were also belong to Neolithic period. Gomal, located in Dera Ismail Khan, and the site was excavated by Professor Dr. Ahmad Hassan Dani on behalf of the Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar. His first period also belonged to a ceramic Neolithic. Shri Khan Tarakai, a very important site located in Jani Khail Banu. His first period also associated with late Neolithic period. Sirai Khola, located in Texla. His first period also belonged to Neolithic. Jalilpur, his first period is also belonged to late Neolithic, and it is located in the south of Harappa. Jhandi Babar-I, a very important and the largest Neolithic site so far, located in Dera Ismail Khan, excavated by the Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar in 1998. His first period is also belonged to late Neolithic. Gulgai Court is also important site located in Dera Ismail Khan, explored by Professor Ehsan Ali and Professor Zakirullah Jan in 2003. The other important sites is located in Rodi Hill, Sindh, Sakhar, the Salt Ridge, Jhelum and Chakwal, Punjab area, and the Bajawar area. Some of the feature of Neolithic period, especially their stone tools. So hafted geometrical microlithic tools were found in this period, and it's developed from the Mesolithic culture. The following shapes were commonly found in this period: burins, scrapers, points or arrowheads, blades, braidlets, silt, polish, axes, as etc. Some of the stone tools of this period, the blade stone tools, the polish X stone tool, microlithic bladelet, stone silt, burin tool, scraper as stone tool, points or arrowheads. Stone tool technology of this period. So some of the previous stone tool technologies continued in this period: direct percussion, indirect secondary work, and pressure flaking. All these introduced earlier these techniques. The new one is picking and polishing. Picking in this technology, a gentle blow with the help of soft hammer to remove irregular part of the nodule. The polishing technique. So after the final touching, the tool was rubbed with another stone in order to obtain a sharp cutting edge. Bone tool were also introduced in this period, and these are found fish hooks, harpoons, needles, awls, and spatulas. You can see different kind of bone tools. Late Neolithic, so it is characterized by social changes that paved the way for the subsequent era of important Bronze Age period. Some major changes took place in the nature of settlements. There were also changes in the form of individual settlements. Smaller of these settlements became much larger, and increasingly more were surrounded by walls and moat. Emerging urbanism is evident from changing such as increase in the density of sites on a regional basis. Pottery is the main characteristic of this period. Pottery was introduced for the first time in this period, and before we have no concept of pottery. So pottery is made from baked or burnt clay, which also known as terracotta. So at the beginning it was simple, but later it was decorated with various designs. These designs were executed on pottery in the method of carving, engraving, and painting. Moreover, these designs were categorized in three major forms: geometrical, floral, and faunal. And you can see different kind of designs found on the pottery of Neolithic period: geometrical, lunar, horizontal, oblique, vertical, swastika, triangular, semicircular, wave, zigzag, chevron, and lozenge. Come to the site of Jhandi Babar. So it is located in district Dera Khan. So in the British period, the district of Dera Ismail Khan was the central one among three districts of the Dera Jat division. So the district originates its name from the district headquarters town, which is also the headquarters of the division. In 1469, Sultan Hussain, governor of Multan, made over the Indus frontier to a Baloch named Malik Sohrab, who established the towns of Dera Ismail Khan, Dera Fateh Khan, Dera Ghazi Khan, naming of them after his three sons. And it is believed that Dera Khan was founded by Ismail Khan himself. Geographically, it is very important, and it is surrounded by river Indus, Marwat range, part of Betani range, the western boundary approximate to the eastern base of the Betani range and Sherani hills. The district Dera Khan is span over 3 1,550 square miles in the west central Pakistan, between the Indus River's right bank and the Suleiman Range. This is the latest map of the district, and it was bounded by on the north by Lucky Marwat district, and the south is Dera Ghazi Khan district. On the east, the river Indus is flowing. Dera Ismail Khan is archaeologically known as Gomal Plain. So Gomal being the main river in the region, which benefited the local people for their daily use of water and agriculture activities from ancient times. The Gomal is an immense alluvial plain of the Darajat in Pakistan, spreading sideways of the right bank of the river Indus. The plain slants south eastward and channels the water into the Indus from the western hills that isolated Pakistan from Afghanistan. So historically, the term Gomati is derived from Sanskrit word Gomati, which means possessing cow. The contribution of the Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar, is very important in the Gomal Plain. The first ever proper excavation was started by Professor Dr. Ahmad Hassan Dani. He was followed by Professor Farzand Ali Durrani, Professor Abdurrahman, Professor Ehsan Ali, Professor Gul Rahim, Professor Zakir Lajans, and their exploration and excavations at important sites. And these are Gomla, Hatala, Rahman Deri, Gandhi Umar Khan, Jhandi Babar, and very recently a new site excavated by Dr. Zakirullah Jan Sikandar Janubi. You can see some of the archival record of the previous excavation at Rahman Deri from 1962 to 82. This is the map of the archaeological exploration in the Gomal Plain in 2003, and you can see the sites starts from Neolithic up to historic period. The main theme of the present research is the Microlithic stool industry of Jhandi Babar-I. Jhandi Babar-I, there are two sites with the name of Jhandi Babar. So these are termed as Jhandi Babar-I and II, and named after nearby village. The site is located about 60 kilometers southwest of the city of Dera Khan. You can also approach from Parua to Chodwan Road. It is a hard, dry and uneven mound, rectangular in shape, and it is suggested to be the largest Neolithic site in the region so far. According to Dr. Abdurrahman, the word Jhandi is a kind of tree with tiny leaves and short thorns. It is considered sacred by some of the Hindus, while Babar is the name of an Afghan tribe. You can see that it is a very large site. We mentioned that there are two sites with the name of Jhandi Babar. So the large one is Jhandi Babar-I and the smaller one is Jhandi Babar-II. Discovery. The site was first discovered by Professor Dr. Taj Ali, then he was Chairman Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar, and Professor Farzand Ali Durrani, while conducting a short archaeological exploration between Parua and Chodwan in 1997. For the second time, it was reported by the research team of the Directorate of Archaeology and Museum, Government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, led by Dr. Abdurrahman in 1997. This is the grid plan of the 1998 excavation. The excavation trench is marked here. Excavation of 1998. So soon after this discovery, the site was excavated by Professor Dr. Gulrahim under the supervision of Professor Dr. Ehsan Ali on behalf of the Department of Archaeology, University of Peshawar in 1998. This was a small-scale preliminary excavation campaign and continued from May to June, lasting for 8 weeks. A trench of 10 by 4 meter was laid in this season, which reached a certain depth of 5 meter of occupation deposits by using the Harris matrix method. You can see the stratification in the trench along with virgin soil, and the different layers are visible in the pictures. Stratigraphy. So total 56 layers were observed during the excavation, along with 6 ovens, 6 pits, 4 hearths, 4 platforms, 16 walls, 9 floor levels, 7 post holes, 49 cuts, and a kiln were exposed during the excavation. There are 4 habitational and structural phases were found and associated with 2 different periods. The first period, lower 3, contains handmade and painted pottery, while the latter produced fine thin texture wheel made and painted pottery. This is the section of the excavation. You can see that Harris matrix method were applied during the excavation. Different layers and feature you can see in the section drawing. Chronology and dating. After the excavation, systematic excavation in 1998, the cultural profile of the site is identified on the basis of pottery. The site was dated to late Neolithic and early Bronze Age period, starting from 5th to 3rd millennium BC. Later, members of the Banu Archaeological project collected samples to get an absolute date for the site, and these samples were collected from the exposed section of the 1998 excavation. 5 samples in this regard of charcoal were submitted for radiocarbon dating, and later on it dated between 3500 to 3000 BC were recorded. Microlithic tools. The site contain large number of microlithic tools, and both it collected from the surface and from the excavation. So microlith means small stone tools are often form of flint or chert and measure around a centimeter in length and a half centimeter in width. Most of the stone tools of microlithic tools either flakes or blade made of chert and containing a variety of secondary tools. It includes flakes, scraper, notch flakes, blades, burins, triangles, bladelets, retouched blades, cores, etc. So according to the excavator, The raw material, chert nodule, was obtained from the Chodwan, an archaeological site located about 10 km to the west of Jhandi Babar village. Later, the Bannu Archaeological project studied lithic assemblages from Jhandi Babar-I, which comprised surface collection from the eastern area of the site and were associated with ceramics of Shri Khan Tarakai culture phase. Material and shapes of the stone tools. These microlithics comprise a variety of tools, flakes, blades, and blade cores, and were made of variety of cryptocrystalline silica, and these are mainly jasper, plain and banded chalcedony, and brown and black chert. These microlith tools represent a variety of geometrical shapes, which include trapeze, rectangular, triangular, pointed or conical, lunate, cylindrical, leaf shape, etc. Among them, the most common shape is trapeze, rectangle, or trapezoid. Classification. So generally stone tools is classified on the basis of their shape or form. The present research is based on the lithic collection reported from the service of Jhandi Babar in 2016 and 17, and also those stone tools were also selected for the research which was found from 1998 excavation. The collection, the lithic collection, is now presently stored in the Sir Sahibzada Abdul Qayyum Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology, University of Peshawar. This is the lithic reduction sequence, and you can see from a core tool how they make a flake or small stone tool. The first category of these stone tools is core, and core is a part of raw material from which flakes have been struck off. It is also can be defined as a chunk or nodule of stone from which flakes have been detached by carefully for further use or modification. The next category is blade. Blades are more or less parallel-sided flakes with a length to width ratio of more than 2:1. It is a type of stone tool having long, narrow flake, and you can see the distal and the proximal edge, the dorsal and the ventral surface, triangular and trapezoidal sections, flaking irises. Bladelet. This is the term bladelet is employed for a small, generally narrow and thin flake detached from a core. The distinction between a blade and a bladelet is one of size, and any length limit is arbitrary. But in general, the bulk of bladelets fall into the microlithic category. The distinction between blades and bladelets by limiting bladelet length at 1.0 to 5.0 centimeter and blade from 5.0 to 30.0 centimeter or more in length. Bladelet is actually the developed form of blade with a smaller size. The next category is point, and you can see the distal edge is slightly narrow at the end. Flake fragment on which two retouched edges coverage to a form of a sharp triangular projection. However, they have also been poorly defined with the nothing approaching a clear definition. Later it was defined as a point was any blade or flake for which an edge was made pointed by bilateral retouching. Burin is a flake fragment modified by fracture aligned vertical to its upper and lower surface and parallel to its edges. The term burin in French means engraving tool. The early prehistorians believed that burins had narrow tips that were used for carving hard surfacing material such as bone or wood. The next category is scrapers. The word scraper is used in prehistoric archaeology to define fragments of stone, usually flakes or blades, with retouched one or more edges or end. Mostly this retouch process is semi-abrupt in nature, steepening the tool edge or making it less acute than a natural flake edge, thus making it more suitable for scraping rather than cutting. Conclusion and discussion. Neolithic or New Stone Age is the last phase of prehistoric period in which for the first time we find the people possessing the knowledge of agriculture and domestication of animals. Apart from this, the people of this age is also introduced pottery and the art of polishing stone implements. Tools of this period were developed from Mesolithic culture. New developments were made in this period having advanced tools. The typical artifact of this age is the polished stone axe. The Neolithic culture merges into the Copper Age, followed in the succession by the Bronze and Iron Age respectively. The lithic assemblage of Jhandi Babar-I has the potential to provide information about the cultural developments in the Gomal plain. The present lithic assemblage from Jhandi Babar-I in the Gomal valley obviously suggests that the region was under the Neolithic and Chalcolithic cultural activities during 5th millennium BC. Typologically, this lithic industry contains quality craftsmanship as compared to the number of types present in the contemporary lithic industries occurred in the Gomal plain and in the Banu basin. At the end, I would like to thank my respected teacher, Professor Dr. Qazi Naeem Saab, for allowing me to present my research on this YouTube channel. It will help the scholars to improve their academic activities and provide platform for newcomers. Please subscribe the channel and do comments. Thank you so much.